Dear viewers, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello and welcome to this new episode of your program Misconceptions, which comes to you live through Multimedia Box MTV. In every episode of Misconceptions, we discuss one of the misconceptions or stereotypes or claims or one of the allegations that are targeted against Islam. And the sources of these misconceptions are varied, really. Some of these misconceptions come from, wrong actions and wrong behaviors by Muslims. Unfortunately, due to their misunderstanding of the scripture or of the hadith or the discourses of the Prophet, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. Another source are those people who came and studied Islam, but with an ill intention, unfortunately. So they study Islam to pick and choose and take things out of context, to give a very negative image and view of Islam. One of the great misconceptions and stereotypes that have been, roaming around about Islam is that Islam is a religion that calls for the treatment of women with absolute disdain, looks at women as inferior creatures, and thinks that women should always be discriminated against. To discuss these misconceptions, or claims rather actually, I'm really delighted to be accompanied today by the great Islamic scholar and preacher, Dr. Amjad Korsha. Dr. Amjad, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me here, and I'm very happy to be with you, Brother Muhammad, and I welcome the brothers and sisters here and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help me to be of some help in this great episode.
Amen, Doctor, and it's a great pleasure having you with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So to start off with a base, let's try to put a base here for our viewers to understand. Does Islam really, exalt men over women and look at women as inferior creatures while women or men are the exalted superior creatures? Or does Islam call for the absolute equality between men and women, means that they have exactly the same rights and the same responsibilities? Or does it call for justice between them? And actually, this is a very common misconception too. Many people think that justice and equality are interchangeable, or they're synonymous words. Well, absolutely not. Justice is not equality. So equality would mean that if I have three people, one is extremely poor, another one is of moderate situation, and a third one who's extremely rich, I have $3 with me. Equality means I'll give each one of them $1, regardless of their needs. While justice says, I'll give $2 to the poor one, I'll give $1 to the moderate one, and none to the rich one because he doesn't need any. So does Islam really call for equality or justice between men and women, having equal rights, equal responsibilities, but of different kind according to their different structure as human beings?
Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to him, and peace and blessings be upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Ameen.
Thank you very much. Actually, you did answer indirectly on more than 60% of the points. Now, in Islam, the absolute equality is by default injustice. So there is no complete equality. For anyone with power of intellect will realize equality means in many cases, not always, injustice. So in Islam, if I may put it in an academic way, from one angle, there is equality. Equality in terms of responsibility and accountability.
Exactly.
When they stand before their Lord as an accountable human being for what they said, what they did, what they intended, yes, they are equal. No difference at all between males and females. And we have many verses when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he said believers, females and men and women, men and women, you know, they will be accountable. Both of them can say the truth. Both of them can be trustworthy. Both of them can backbite. Both of them can lie. Both of them can stingy or mean and can be generous. And both of them. So in this angle, from a human perspective, standing before their Lord, they are equal. But when it comes to their some specific areas in their life, in what pertains to their responsibilities, now I think the common sense tells us as well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty, has given men some kind of specific characteristics with specific duties related to their characteristics, and gave women, in addition to the, let's say, common ground with men, some specific characteristics as a female, which will enable them to be more powerful in their area, and therefore we have some different duties and consequences to this. So, and this is, as you said, the justice. It's like, for example, if I have two sons, one of them doing his BA in medicine, the other one BA in English literature. The pocket money that they need for their daily need completely different. The second one needs books. The first one needs a lot of, you know,
he needs forceps, scalpels, he needs, you know, like many all the different things for dissection.
Or architecture, for example.
For anatomy, like, the other one would need a T ruler, would need a French curve. All these are different things that the others wouldn't need.
And by the way, even their fees is different.
Absolutely.
This one loves English, this one loves medicine. They decided to go. I may be paying, let's say, for the fact that I'm paying $10,000 for the English and $30,000 for medicine. I'm not discriminating. I gave them for example, I'm just from one angle. Now this is justice, because I'm responding to his need, or their age, as they say, the pocket money. For grade 5, it's not like, more or less. So now men and women, they have some kind of specific characteristics. By this, we have justice. For example, just one example and finish, then I will give, if you allow me, some kind of introduction to the general idea. Or after after I finish this one. Now, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I forgot the points. Sorry.
Yeah,
I lost the points. I overturned.
No, don't worry about it. You're talking about like justice.
Yeah.
And it's not equality. And exactly as you're saying, like in the Quran, Allah says, for Muslim men and women, for believing men and women, for devout men and women, for true men and women, for men and women who are patient and constant, for men and women who humble themselves. So for all, like it's just like the verse starts from beginning to end, says men and women, for them has Allah prepared forgiveness and great reward. So the Quran absolutely, you know, confirms what you are just saying here.
You know, I prepared this apart from verse. Thank you very much for reminding me.
Yeah, my
which
pleasure.
is exactly, because this verse, which is in chapter 33, which is the enemy alliance, or al-ahzab.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, Muslim men and women, believing men and women, you know, patient men, and all of them at the end, God, remember, God often, for all of them, God has prepared forgiveness, all of them.
Exactly.
In terms of this. And there's something, maybe it's good, our respected audience, whether Muslims, and we are welcoming, of course, on your behalf as well, all of them.
Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely.
You know, as you said, some people with some kind of ill will, deliberately, they tried for many political reasons, for whatever reasons, historical reasons, you know, a clash of civilizations. They tried to portray Islam, you know, in a way which is very far from its real nature. Now, who can believe that when the Quran, as an example, when Allah Almighty, God Almighty, wanted to give an example for the believers, He gave an example by two women. قال وضرب الله مثلا للذين آمنوا. And by the way, there's two messages here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وضرب الله مثلا للذين آمنوا امرأة فرعون. God, He says, and God sets forth an example for the believers. The wife of Pharaoh, who prayed, my Lord, build me a house in paradise near you, deliver me from Pharaoh and his evil doing, and save me from the wrongdoings people. Now the big surprise. The second example, وضرب الله مثلا الذين آمنوا ومريم ابنة عمران التي أحصنت فرجها. Now there is also the example of Mary, the daughter of Imran. Mary, you know, the mother of Jesus Christ.
Mother of Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Mary, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity. So we breathed into her womb through our angel Gabriel. She testified to the words of her Lord and his scriptures and was one of the sincerely devout. Now, can anyone on earth tell me if Islam really was looking down to women as inferior? Who was pushing Prophet Muhammad as the king of Arabs, as the others claim, just to praise the mother of Jesus Christ, which was an Israeli Jewish for the Arabs, and you know the conflict between Arabs, the pagan Arabs, and the Jewish and Israeli people at the Medina, and the clashes between Christians and Jews and Muslims. And yet, unless this is from God and this is the justice, you know, praise the example of believers, Mary. You know,
yeah,
this is but many people, they don't know.
And furthermore, there is a complete verse in the Quran
Yes.
with the name of Mary.
Yeah.
A complete verse in the Quran with the name of Mary. So like,
while there is nothing by the name of the wife of Prophet Muhammad, which is Khadija or Aisha, for example, or his beloved daughter, which is Fatima. Nothing, not even their mention. By the way, their names, they did not even mention, not by a name of a chapter or as a name in the context of any verses. But Mary was mentioned many times, and there's a special chapter in her name and her story, praising her and defending her.
Yeah, there's a chapter for her, and there's a chapter for the Imran family.
Yes.
As well. So
Yes.
there are two different complete chapters for Imran family, for her, and there's another chapter as well for the, you know, again for the miracle of Christ as well.
Yes.
There's another chapter for the, you know, the
If you
table.
now I remember what I forget.
Yeah.
I was preparing 2 points just to make them like an introduction for me. One of them is that, please, I urge brothers and sisters, the Muslims maybe who are not well educated in Islam, and definitely non-Muslims, to remember the following important thing, which is, when we speak about Islam, if you want to judge Islam, the main primary resources of Islam, original resource of Islam, basically the Quran, the Holy Scripture of Muslims, and the Sunnah, or the prophetic traditions or the prophetic sayings and actions.
Yeah.
And the authentic companions who translated this for us after that. Now, after that, we have Muslims, we have scholars, we have different traditions, misapplication, misinterpretation, whatever. You know, we have a lot of messes now, okay? Now, if you want to judge Islam, go to the original, genuine text of Islam. Don't wear the glass of some misinterpretation or misapplication, because this is not an Islamic problem. It's a human problem. We have a lot of misapplication by Christians, by some Jews, some Hindus, some Buddhists, some etc. So this is like an advice. Now the other point, which I finished my introduction with it, basically, you know, if we want to discuss any doubts or any stereotype that has been stuck with Islam with regard to women, we need to remember the following. It's a historical fact. Let's go back, travel very quickly with the time machine to, you know, back to 1400 years ago. To the best of my knowledge, as an expert in comparative religions, I can claim with full peace of mind that all cultures on earth, exclusively speaking, they were not respecting women on earth by any way, with different levels. I'm talking about different cultures, including religions, including races, including states, from Hinduism through the Zoroastrianism, Persians, Romans, Greek, Jewish, Christians, and wherever you go. Every culture has a problem with women. Some of them, they were looking at her as just a sexual object. Some of them, they were not giving her the right to choose her husband. She used to be inherited as part of the property in some other cultures and religions. She used to be burned alive in some other religions and cultures. And. For Arabs, the pagans at the time of ignorance, it was a disaster. It's a catastrophe and a disaster. They used, out of afraid to be enslaved by other tribes or out of fear of hunger, they used to bury her alive. And they used to have prostitution houses and used to kidnap amazing women. When Islam came, and I finish by this, 1400 years ago, Islam came. And one of the problems that women they used to face, the accusation of the original sin, in addition to other things. So Islam came. Islam declared that Adam and Eve, both of them, they were responsible for the decision of eating from, it's not just Eve.
Yeah, the forbidden fruit.
Yes. 1. 2, she has the full right to choose the husband. 3, she has the full independent personality to take her decision with financial contracts, and she has her own and decisions complete, which was, to the best of my knowledge, no culture on earth at that time gave less than 10% of what Islam gave the woman. Starting from this historical fact really will help many people to say, wait. So why what I'm hearing now is, okay, political reasons, clashes between cultures reasons, and one of my simple evidences for what I'm saying, even though because of the Islamophobia and because of the, the media and we have a lot of fake news by someone like Fox News, for example, against Islam and Muslims, amazingly, you hear a lot of things. Why it is the case that 75% in the West of those who convert or revert to Islam are women?
Okay, so basically, we have to clarify a couple of things.
Yes.
First of all, there's a huge difference between religion and culture.
Yeah.
And many times they're mixed together.
Unfortunately.
So many times there are backward, retarded cultural norms that get mixed with religious practices.
Yes.
And people would give them like divinity, holiness to these backward kind of behaviors, these norms, these traditions. And unfortunately, again, some people, some Muslims actually, out of lack of knowledge of the book, they would implement these things. And this happened, to be fair as well, to other cultures.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, in other cultures as well, like you just said, they mistreated women.
Yeah.
But not all of these cultures were mistreating women because their scripture says to mistreat women.
That's not necessarily.
Yeah, like no revelation from God, whether Islam or any religion before, would ever call for the disdain of women. It is impossible. But human beings are the ones who would disdain each other. So it's misinterpretation, whether on purpose or not. But whatever, in Islam, unfortunately, several people misinterpretation, or they take things out of context to satisfy their ill desires and suppress and oppress women.
To be honest with you, for me as an academic, I have to disagree with you a little bit. I will not highlight it. I will not mention anything in specific, but because I'm here just to speak on behalf of Islam. It's not my business to speak on behalf of others. But as an expert in this, some other cultures, some religious scripture, they do have a serious problem. In my opinion and my experience. But this is not the context. But I'm claiming now, and I can really challenge for this. In Islam, we don't have it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm saying
not
in Islam,
with the idea, it's just misinterpretation. No, some other cultures, they contain in their scripture a problem. But this is another point. But just because if I kept silent now, it will be as if I'm endorsing what you are saying. But so I disagree with this specific point. Regardless, I'm not highlighting to anything specific. But when you go through, we will see sometimes some texts, they are seriously I'm not talking about the misinterpretation. I'm talking about the text itself. But this is another story. It has to do with the area of academic comparative religions in universities, which is something we do, with our, MA and PhD students with this.
Absolutely.
Just for the sake of academia.
Okay. So moving to one of the basic stereotypes that are spread about Islam is that very commonly when somebody who's not a Muslim and who usually people who haven't been living with a lot of Muslims, sometimes they say it as a joke, sometimes they are serious about it. Once you know you're a Muslim, so how many wives do you have? And
The most common question.
exactly,
How many wives?
how
do
many
you have?
wives do you have? And they always think that all Muslims have a harem, you know, in their home. So they
Turkish,
have
style,
a lot of concubines, a lot of wives, and so on and so forth. So two things here. We want to talk about wives and concubines. Two things. So to start off, there is a verse that says, and it's part of a chapter called the Woman chapter. It says, marry woman of your choice, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with them, then only one, or the slaves that your right hand possesses. So here there are 2 points in the same verse. Let's start with the first point.
Yes.
Polygamy.
Polygamy, yes.
Polygamy. Marrying more than one wife.
Yes.
It's open to marry of your desire. 1 woman, 2 women, 3 women, and 4 women. So let me hear your answer about this very critical, topic, but after a short break. Please, listeners and viewers, please stay tuned. We'll be back soon.
MTV MTV رمضان كريم.
Dear viewers, brothers and sisters, welcome back. Before the break, I was talking with Dr. Amjad about polygamy and the right of a man, a Muslim man, to marry 1 woman, 2, 3, or 4. Polygamy of your choice. So somebody might say, isn't this clear disdain for women? Like 1, 2, 3, 4? Are they like gadgets? Is this like a car? You can have 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars? This is what some people say. So absolutely, this is a claim, a misunderstanding. So can you kindly clarify this?
Thank you
please?
very much. To understand, as we said in other places, to understand a religious texts, a legislation, you need to understand the historical context.
Absolutely.
Without understanding the context, we have a text and we have a context.
Exactly,
Okay?
exactly.
Yes, without the context, misunderstanding could be miserable, horrible. Now, the context. Now, on earth, Arabs, Romans, Persians, all cultures, there was no limit for wives. No limit, which means it was, by nature, a man could be having 10 wives, 15, 12. For Arabs, for example, 18, 23, 5, no limits, full control. They were completely inferior, okay? So the first message, which could be surprising for the people, Islam came and limited it to 4. 1. 2, which is more important than the first one. Now Islam came and said it is permissible, not compulsory. There's a huge difference between, you must, by the way, how many wives do you have?
1.
How many wives do I have?
How many wives do the absolute majority of Muslim men
of
have?
that we know.
Exactly. The absolute
And by
majority
the way,
of Muslim men have
I know
only
maybe
1.
10,000 persons. I know maybe 4 of them, they have more than 1 wife.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it is, let's differentiate between a divine law, which is designed for humanity up to the day of judgment, contains a very, very realistic, system, which is very tolerant to take in consideration what could happen with different circumstances, and it designed by law inside it in case there is a need, you are allowed, it is permissible with the following conditions. On top of them, justice. Otherwise, go to square number one, just one. Is this high civilized system or look inferior? You know, when you say. So now, let's come in practice. How many cases we might be finding, take in consideration, men generally, they have more than one wife, okay? In Islam, limited. Plus, if there is a need, with conditions. Plus, let's be fair now. And I hope I will not offend anyone with my talk. Worldwide now, East and West, generally in the secular world now, what is the percentage of men who don't care with religion, who do not have more than girlfriend or more than women in their life?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating if I said, and by the way, I read something about that. The average secular person, which is not part of his consideration, the prohibition of any religion. He's not a Jew, he's not a Christian, he's either, for example, a secular or an atheist. He's just living his life.
Just a non-religious person.
A non-religious person.
Yeah.
This non-religious person, the average of, you know, girlfriends that he might be sleeping with them, if he lived 50 years, could be tens. I'm talking about 20, 25, maybe 30. One of my friends, he's a practitioner, the doctor, you know, the family doctor in Dallas, Texas. I lived there for a while. He told me I had a schoolboy, 10th grade. 10th grade, he had some kind of sexual diseases. He came to my clinic. He said, I asked him, because as part of it, I want to give him treatment. I asked him, I'm sorry, I don't want to interfere in your business, but I need to know about your relations. This is a simple example. He said, I slept with 16 girls in the school. And he's in grade 10.
Yeah, like something very obvious about this is like, you know, if you look at the pornographic sites,
yes,
if you look at ads of prostitution, if you look at strip bars, more than 90% working in these places are women.
Yeah.
So are they working for nobody? Of course not, which means that there is a big demand.
Yes.
And the people who are going there, are they all single? Probably not.
No.
So definitely means that there has been a lot of cheating happening.
Yes, this is a reality.
Because, I'm sorry to interrupt here because it's very necessary. Because some people might say, okay, in some other cultures or beliefs, whatever, polygamy is not allowed altogether. Like it clearly says, according to their belief, that a man should only get married to one wife only, and there is no divorce.
I mean, okay, now it's their choice. Let them stick to what they believe. I'm talking as a Muslim. I believe as a Muslim, this is the final revelation from God, which was designed to take care of all different needs. That's why I'm talking about tolerance and divine design. We have sick women. We have women, they have cancer in their wombs, for example. And she loves her husband. He loves her. He needs children, for example. Now, practically, don't be emotional. Practically, they live together. Or they have children, but they have some kind of bad relation now. But they respect each other, but they don't love each other. They agree that they want to take care of the children. We don't want to divorce. But at the same time, he has an emotional need. She hates him, but she respects him. He hates her, but he respects her. So, because, I mean, I can respect, but I don't like. I can. For whatever reason, we have millions of these cases. Sometimes, instead of this man go and cheat and do something in a prohibited way and go to, for example, prostitution houses or have some kind of adultery or fornication or whatever, it is allowed. It's not just allowed to marry, no. Marriage for us is a responsibility. On top of the responsibility, basically, spending the money on the wife and taking care of the children. It's a family. So when we look, I conclude this now. Now in Islam, it is permissible, not compulsory, when there is a need, and it is high responsibility, because once you want to do it, you need to justify it, plus you need to do it according to the law, plus you hold full responsibility, especially financial and all other kind of responsibilities. Compare this with someone, he hates his wife for whatever reason, but for many reasons, social reasons, money, whatever, he can't divorce her. What do most of these men do? They go to prostitutes. This is the reality. In Islam, we have better example. Under the sun, he is married, full responsibility, no cheating, no backbiting, no betrayal, nothing at all. In reality, unfortunately, some people, they attack Muslims, like Muslims, you. In reality, he's having girlfriends by tens in his life. So come on, come on, please.
Yeah.
By nature, you have a problem you need. For us, we are realistic. We say, you don't like him, divorce him. You don't like her, divorce her. You would like to live with each other, but for whatever reason, you are not satisfying, he's not satisfying you, find a solution, but under the sun. Legally, with full responsibility. Is this good or bad?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just to complement what you were saying, and in Islam, a man is fully responsible for all of his wife's needs.
Yes.
The wife is not responsible for the man's needs.
At all.
At all. Like, she's not responsible for suckling the child. She's not responsible for cooking.
Yes.
For tidying the house. She's not responsible for spending 1 penny of her salary on the house, even if she's a billionaire.
Which is the most important thing now.
Exactly.
Because many women around the world, they suffer from this. If
Yes,
they don't
absolutely.
work and pay and they share, I mean, they are kicked out of the house.
In Islam, she would do this only as a favor
Yes.
that should be fully respected by the man.
Yes.
He should fully thank her for that. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Of course, you are the most knowledgeable here, doctor. But the reason is, like, the woman can divorce herself.
She can, yes.
She can divorce herself. So it's like she's not stuck in a jail with the man.
No, at all.
If she doesn't like him marrying another one, she can ask for divorce. Moreover, she can ask in her marriage contract from the beginning to ask her, like, she can put a conditional clause.
Definitely,
She can
yes.
put a conditional clause in her marriage contract stating that I do not allow my husband to marry another woman.
If he agreed upon this, he will not be allowed to do it.
It's a commitment. That's it. It's a commitment in front of Allah. He would be committing a major sin.
It's a clarity, commitment, responsibility under the sun.
Absolutely.
This is, I call this is the highest civilized system.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
polygamy here is allowed in order to maintain the the responsibility of the man towards the woman.
I just forgot something.
Yeah.
Now, what happens at the time of the wars? Generally speaking, one of the examples, just to see how realistic and practical polygamy could be. Now, generally speaking, the history of humanity, wars basically are done mainly by men. The casualties, the death, the most
Are
of
male
them, they are men.
casualties. Yeah.
And always consequently, if thousands of men at war passed away, means by default we have thousands of women left behind as widows, as mothers, as daughters, as. So this is part of the nature of humanity, wherever you go. And maybe we say, no, this is old history. Come on, let's come now. Just, few decades ago, Second World War, what happened? Huh?
Yeah, like
women.
Yeah, like we had 80
52
million.
millions. It's
Yeah.
2 wars.
Yeah.
2 wars, more than 60 millions.
Yeah, in World
most
War
of them
II
civilians.
only, we had 80 million casualties, and these are the official numbers.
Yeah.
Probably the actual numbers is more than 100 or 120 million dead people, and out of those 120 million or even 80 million, more than 90% of them are males.
Which means
Leaves a lot of widows.
Now, is it preferable those widows just to stay there, just to be mistreated, misused, or to find a husband who should be in charge, full responsibility by religious duty? He must work and spend the money, take care of her, and any kind of offspring, any kind of children comes legally, they are attributed to him, which is more honoring for the woman.
Absolutely. And moving to the second point, excuse me, which is the second part of the same verse
yeah.
in the same chapter, which then only, which says, but if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with them, then only one or the slaves that your right hand possesses. Slaves, are we back to the time of slavery? And again, are we talking about concubines here? Or are we talking about a harem? So I can have a harem, I'm married to one woman. Practically, I'm married to one woman. Theoretically, I'm married to one woman. But in practice, I have many concubines. I have many harem. They're like my right hand possesses. Isn't this extremely backward, and isn't this just calls for absolute animal lust?
The question just should be raised. Was this an Islamic or an Arabic thing or a worldwide human thing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Historically, and I claim with full confidence, it was not just a cultural, it was as well, it was endorsed by other religions as well.
Yeah, some prophets had concubines.
Over. Yes.
Some prophets had concubines.
So if someone is focusing his mind, look at Muslims, wait, please. Slavery for men and women, slave girls and slave men, generally, it was the culture of people on earth.
Yeah. Abraham, the grandfather of all prophets.
Yes, go to the Old Testament.
Yes, exactly.
Tens of verses about
the prophet David.
Yes, yeah, they have.
The prophet, he had a lot of concubines.
So it is not an Islamic problem, but look how Islam was great with this. I will mention in steps now. Step number 1, to the best of my knowledge, it was a global culture for cultures, countries, races, and religions. Let's be clear, it was accepted by other religions as well, completely, and justified. And by the way, even in Plato, with Utopia, if you read what Plato said, Plato, the philosopher, he said that in this Utopia, which is very excellent example for this city, we can't live without slaves.
Absolutely.
My point,
yeah,
it's a global culture. Islam came and did 2 amazing things. Number 1, he puts like a special religious kafara. I forget the name of the kafara in English.
Yeah, like it's something like atonement.
Atonement, yes.
Some form of atonement.
Yes,
yeah.
Atonement. Yes. These torments basically,
Atonements,
atonements. Now, if someone did a lot of wrong, bad things, his way of recovering his account, if I may put it in this way, to free a slave, tens of ways freeing a slave. For example, if I killed someone by mistake, okay? If I did such and such, if I did and such, I will not be forgiven unless if I free a slave. So, Islam has the privilege to raise up his head to say, no religion, no culture started to free slaves on earth except Muslims, number 1. And I can prove that by, United States, just less than 150 years ago, less than 100 plus years, they started, the movement of freeing slaves. I'm talking about the United States now, not talking about 1400 years ago. And we know all that.
Yeah, like actually Canada we're living in was the very first country in the British Empire, and not all of Canada even.
Yes.
Part of Canada, when it was in the making, was the very first part of the British Empire to start freeing slaves. And then the freeing of slaves came later on to the British Parliament. So we're talking about a few, less than 200 years ago here.
And by the way, maybe some people don't know historically that one of the main parts because of the civil war in the United States between North and South, it was freeing the slaves.
Slavery, absolutely.
Because of slavery and farming, it was dependable. So
on the South,
yes,
the southern
in the
parts.
South,
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
true.
Yeah.
Now we go back 1400 years ago. Islam came and put about 10 to 12, 13 waves of atonement, basically to seek forgiveness through freeing the slaves. And it kept just one small window and did not prohibit it completely. Okay? We come to our point now. Why? Now, from philosophical, political, social point of view, because it was the culture of people of earth, Muslims themselves at war, they were enslaved, men and women. They were taken as war prisoners.
Yeah, as hostages. Yeah.
Yes. So If Islam make it completely prohibited, it will be, we will make fun of ourselves. Now, for example, we have a fight with Romans, we are fighting with Persians, we say, you see, their religion, those stupid Muslims. It's prohibited for them to take our men and our men as, slaves. But we can enslave them, but in their stupid religion. No. God kept this window. If they took slaves from you, take from them. So it's not completely prohibited because of this. This is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, let's come to the handly right possessed girl, which is part of the slaves.
Yeah.
The amazing misunderstanding. What used to happen in any kind of war in history. Men, when they conquer a city, an army, most likely they kill and they rape women. This is by default, and no one can say, no. This is the reality. They rape women.
Mm-hmm.
If they do not rape women, and the destruction was there, and men are lost or passed away, women, they will be inferior, and they will be in a great, problem to a degree. Most likely to eat, they will sell their body, they will go to prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
What happened now? Look how great Islam is. At the time of war, Islam said, if there is a female soldier, we are talking about the army, this soldier female, we are not discussing the female in the city or in the village.
A female fighter. She's a female
she
fighter.
She is a soldier now. Mm-hmm. Now, this female fighter soldier came to kill me. If I was able to capture her before she kills me, now, logically, ethically, she deserves to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
She's a murderer. She came to kill. In Islam, we said, don't kill her. She will be a slave, and she will be a right-handed possessed, okay, or a slave girl.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it as a wife. She was called, by the way, milk yamin, which means right-handed possessed. Why? Because on the spot, after the battle is finished, everything is in chaos, it's the disaster. We will not wait till some men might started raping women,
mm-hmm.
and we will not wait till she start to be a prostitute to eat.
Mm-hmm.
No, immediately on the spot. The leader of the army or anyone who's in charge will say, this is your wife. It will be handed by hand instead of the contract. She will be like a wife. Now, she deserves to be killed. She's a fighter. She came to kill. Mm-hmm. Okay? Instead of killing her, please focus on this. Instead of killing her, we preserved her life. She became a wife, and she's called in Islamic jurisprudence Walad. She called, if she gave birth for a child, she's called Walad, a mother of a son. Mm-hmm. But she's a slave, and she came as a killer. We did not kill her, but we are married from her through a contract called right hand possessed. And if she gave birth, but she's a slave now, okay? Mm-hmm. But if he had a sexual intercourse and she gave birth, he has no right to sell her, and she became having special rights, less than the normal wife, but full protection in terms of the food, clothing, money, taking care of her responsibility.
And this is a very
historical context.
Very important misconception here. So it doesn't mean that I can just go and buy a free woman.
No, it's a historical
because
context.
I see like she's a pretty girl, and then I just steal this girl and then make her my slave and just enjoy sexual intercourse with her.
Billah.
No,
it's completely
so it's not slavery. Now again, related to lust and love of like sex and all, another verse of the Quran and is the concept of fairies. And it says, they will recline with ease on thrones of dignity, arranged in ranks, and we shall join them to companions with beautiful, big, and lustrous eyes. So again, women are just lust. Women are just there for joy of men. And not only on earth, but even in heaven. Oh my goodness. Women don't have any, why doesn't God talk about any companions for women? Don't women also enjoy men? Only men have companions? And women again, and a lot of people fighting from ISIS or ISIL Like, they say that we kill the people because when we die, like a suicide bomber, he would like bomb himself, explode himself, and kill a lot of innocent people, dreaming of going and living with 27 or like whatnot, beautiful fairies in heaven. So isn't this, again, sexual discrimination? This a sexist mind? A retarded mind?
Let me start with the following. If you have a son and daughter and you want to attract them to come with you to do something, can you tell your son, hey, I have a very beautiful dolly for you? Or I have a very beautiful new PlayStation game about fighting. Which one you will attract your son?
This latter, of course, the latter. Of course.
Why not the dolly?
It's his instinct.
Type. If you have a very nice, beautiful girl and you want to ask her to come, which one will attract her?
The doll, of course. It's her instinct again.
Now, let's go to square number one. Now, do we have this kind of desire? Yes. Is it something, shame on you? No, it's part of our nature. Now, the wrong thing, how to apply it, how to perform it. Now, where is the problem if God is, it's like when you say, for example, if you do, now in worldwide, the nature of men, they are attracted amazingly by the external shape and appearance of a woman, which is not the case necessarily with the same level with the women. I'm not saying women are not attracted by men. I'm saying the window, the gates, the level of attraction through, for example, the sexual appetite of a male will be much more attracted to a female through the external appearance.
And the proof of this is, like we said, look at how many prostitutes we have. Female, like how many like female prostitutes versus men gigolos? We have gigolos. There are men gigolos, but the percentage of gigolos is
1 to 100.
Exactly, compared to women prostitutes.
Maybe 1 to 1,000.
Exactly.
Why? Because the nature is different in this specific point.
Absolutely.
As I said, maybe in the Arabic episode, if you remember, one of the American professors, he was said, can you tell me how many women could be paying a penny just to look to the legs of women? No woman on earth will pay
to the legs of men.
To the legs of men. Yeah. While we can find millions of men on the porno sites, they are paying billions of dollars to look at the legs of women.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, if the Quran is mentioning, as part of many desired things, you will be having, look, now you will be paired. You will be married to beautiful girls with a very beautiful wide eyes. Where is the problem? Is it something against their nature? No. Is it something that religious and secular and non-religious people, they don't do it? 24/7, what is the most desired thing for men when they sit with each other? Forget whether they are religious or non-religious. It's women.
Yeah, exactly.
Women. Jokes about women. Loving women. Speak about women. Politically speaking, what is one of the best powerful way to let someone fall down and to do the blackmailing against big politicians?
Women again, sex and women. Sex and
yes,
women,
sex and women and money. Money, authority, women.
Which even presidents fall for it.
I mean, all of us, I think maybe your age and my age, we remember Mr. Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. What happened? It's the biggest, mightiest, president. He was completely destroyed by.
He was about to be impeached, actually, because he swore under oath. And
so, is it something strange? No. Is it something odd? No. Now, this is how realistic Islam is. It talks about something part of your nature in a very clean way. Here comes the misunderstanding. Unfortunately, this is my analysis. Some people, maybe I give them excuse. Their background that they are trying to judge when they hear these verses came from some kind of very extreme things that happen in reality. Now, in reality, we have something as nude beaches. We have like collective sexual parties. We have prostitution houses. Now, when they hear the word prostitution, nude beaches, collective sex parties, and they hear the word of, for example, al-hur al-ain, this beautiful woman. Oh, look, Muslims, they go to Jannah to have this kind of... No, wait. They will be like wives, exactly, with full restriction, and we have 10 of verses. It's just your wife, completely closed. Al-Quran says, لَمْ يَطْمِثْهُنَّ إِنسٌ قَبْلَهُمْ وَلَا جَمْ. No one from the creation, not even from the jinn or the human beings or any
مقصورات في
creation.
الخيام.
Yes,
They're concealed within a tent.
completely.
Yeah, they're
So it's
completely
your
concealed.
wife.
Yeah.
So where's the problem? By the way, you know, I accept from anyone to accuse me as a Muslim that I have a problem in my religion in case, if he can prove to me that people on earth, they have no problem, they are not attracted sexually, they have no problem in not to deal with women while they are living. If they can prove that, I have a problem. But this is part of the nature.
And sexual attraction is not a shame, actually.
No, it's not a shame.
It is the essence of life on earth. If there is no sexual attraction, then there will not be any children. There will not be a continuation of life. The
Yes.
only problem of any kind of instinct or any kind of craving, be it for food, be it for sex, for anything, is to take it, blow it out of proportion.
Yes.
If you put it in the right channel, it's absolutely great. It is a necessity for the continuation of life.
You used the very beautiful word. It's just the way of channeling it. That's
Exactly.
it. If it is in this channel, now, for example, prostitution, basically, in its simplest definition, it's a sexual relation between man and woman. Marriage, it's a sexual relation. Marriage has a big, huge, concept, which is beautiful. We celebrate.
Yeah.
We go. We invite. We feel proud. We have offspring. Prostitutes, they hide themselves because by nature it is something shame in you
Absolutely.
and what you do. So it's not just it's the attitude, the way, the consequences, the channeling. Is it legal or illegal? Now for example, if you put money in a bank, you have two ways. If it's a money laundry, you will be a thief and you will go to jail. If it is illegal money, you are an excellent citizen in the same city.
Absolutely.
So in both cases, you are putting the money. Okay, what was the attitude? Where did you bring your money from? So it's not the fact of having the money. How did you have it? What was your intention? What do you know about the source of the money? You could be a great hero in the society and you could be a big criminal.
And it's the channeling, like we are
Yes.
afraid of lightning, okay? But lightning is basically electricity.
Yeah.
Lightning is the same power that we use to have the lights, to have the computers on, but the difference is that it's channeled.
Yes.
When it's channeled, it becomes a source of civilization.
That's true.
For computers, for cars, for lights, when it's unchanneled as lightning, it becomes a source of destruction.
Yes, it could kill at any moment.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's the same thing, exactly, like if it's channeled well. Now, last but not least, actually, it's lawful for a Muslim man to marry a non-Muslim woman, specifically, among the people of the book.
Yeah,
So basically, Jewish and Christian women.
that's true, yeah.
While on the other hand, it's not allowed for a Muslim woman to marry a Jewish or Christian man. So isn't this a form of discrimination as well? And and don't women have like the desire to love as well? Like what if the woman falls in love with a Christian or a
Let's
Jewish
look
guy?
to the bright side of the story. Islam, even though from faith point of view disagrees with Jews and Christians with a very big basic point of view, yet it allows Muslims to marry from Jews and Christians and just Jews and Christians, which means if a Muslim woman is married from a non-Muslim apart from Jews and Christians, the marriage contract is invalid. It will not be valid, and it will considered as if it's a fornication, by the way. So look how Islam is honoring other religions, especially the heavenly book, number one. Number two, this is a very big indication
Just
about...
a minor comment here,
Yeah.
Doctor, because this might be misunderstood by some people. It's honoring the people of the book, but doesn't mean that it's dishonoring other people who do not believe in the book
No.
or non-believers.
No.
There is absolute respect for everyone.
Now, when I say, for example, would I tell you, for example, I have a special room for this. This does not mean I'm attacking you. For example, I love you. That does not mean I hate him. The fact that I like your way does not mean I dislike his way. He's outside of the equation that I'm discussing now, okay?
Yeah.
But now this is faith and religion. You know, this is teachings, which is not something just restricted to Muslims. Now, Christians, they have their restrictions. Jews, they have their restrictions, okay? And Islam, by the way, I think you know that even in Christianity, different sects in Christianity, they are not easy, can marry even from each other unless they are baptized in the other church, for example. It's not something, I mean, it should not be a big deal, okay? But the good, bright side of me as a Muslim and my religion, that my religion, basically, we do admit and we believe in Moses and Jesus. And we believe in the origin of Judaism and Christianity. Now, so it's a source of honor, it's, let's say, an image, it's a stand of honoring, actually. In our religion, it's not prohibited to have, a wife means what? It's a family relation.
Yeah, and
you know, but your point, basically, is the second point. But I need to put this production. Why it's not allowed?
Time is running. Like,
Okay,
we have
why-
2 more minutes to go.
Why the woman is not allowed? Now, you know, in Islam, we believe, as I believe, most people on earth, they are aware that most of the cases, a woman follows a man in the decisions, in the name, in the culture, in the doings. Basically, that's what we call it. Is called in English the landlord. They call it, okay?
Yeah, and
they called it the landlords.
And men, in reality, they have much more power to oppress women.
Yes.
If
In
I
reality.
believe in, yes, in reality, if I believe in my wife's religion and book, although I do not follow it, it is against my religion to prevent her from going to church or synagogue.
Yes.
Because my religion dictates me to follow, to respect these religions. It's part and parcel of my religion to respect them, although I might believe otherwise.
So is this a good point with Islam or against Islam?
Absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
with Islam. But a woman,
Yeah.
I know just a minute. Now, a woman,
We have
if
less
she's-
than a minute
if
now,
she's
sure.
married from a non-Muslim, there's most likely she might lose her faith because he's more powerful.
He might oppress her.
Yes.
He might tell her, like, where are you going? I don't believe in this.
That's
Absolutely.
true.
Absolutely.
So it's a practical, technical, realistic, decision. No more than that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us today, and it's a great, fruitful discussion. Just a last comment here, dear viewers and listeners. Islam, again, is not should not be we should not confuse it with cultures or barbaric cultures. Again, Islam, if it gives privilege or respect, extra respect for a group, it does not disrespect anyone. It's against Islam. We must respect all the people on earth. And polygamy, for example, is prohibited in Canada. It is the duty of every Muslim living in Canada to respect the laws in the land he's living in. So it's not a call to break the laws here. And just to finalize, in the book of Allah, Allah says, when he's talking about men and women, he says that all men and women, whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, while he's a believer, they will have the blessing of Allah. Dear listeners and viewers, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Until we meet again next week, and until we meet on Saturday with an Arabic episode, thank you very much, and thanks one more time to Dr. Amjad Korsha for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, dear listeners and viewers, brothers and sisters. Until we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All the best.
MTV رمضان كريم.
يا مادحا خير الأنام بادر ولا تخشى الملام يا مادحا خير الأنام بادر ولا تخشى الملام مدحه مدح طه لا يضام مدح طه لا يضام مدح النبي يا نبي العربي العربي والله ديني ديني ويقيني ومذهبي مدح النبي يا نبي العربي العربي والله ديني ديني ويقيني ومذهبي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي مدح النبي النبي العربي مدح النبي العربي العربي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي مدح النبي النبي العربي ما مدح النبي العربي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي مدح النبي العربي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي فهو المرام بين الأنام حب النبي فهو المرام بين الأنام طه النبي فهو المرام بين الأنام حب النبي فهو المرام بين الأنام طه النبي العربي 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 مدح النبي العربي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي مدح النبي العربي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي فهو المرام فهو المرام بين الأنام فهو المرام بين الأنام حب النبي فهو المرام بين الأنام طه النبي فهو المرام بين الأنام حب النبي فهو المرام بين الأنام حب النبي العربي 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 مدح النبي العربي ديني ويقيني ومذهبي فهو المرام بين الأنام فهو المرام بين الأنام بين الأنام فهو المرام بين الأنام فهو
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعنت الوجوه للحي القيوم وقد خاب من حمل ظلما ومن يعمل من الصالحات وهو مؤمن فلا يخاف ظلما ولا هضما وكذلك أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا وصرفنا فيه من الوعيد لعلهم يتقون أو يحدث لهم ذكرا فتعالى الله الملك الحق ولا تعجل بالقرآن من قبل أن يقضى إليك وحيه وقل رب زدني علما ولقد عهدنا إلى آدم من قبل فنسي ولم نجد له عزما وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس أبى فقلنا يا آدم إن هذا عدو لك ولزوجك فلا يخرجنكما من الجنة فتشقى إن لك ألا تجوع فيها ولا تعرى وإنك لا تظمأ فيها ولا تضحى فوسوس إليه الشيطان قال يا آدم هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى فأكلا منها فبدت لهما سوآتهما وطفقا يخصفان عليهما من ورق الجنة وعصى آدم ربه فغوى ثم اجتباه ربه فتاب عليه وهدى قال اهبطا منها جميعا بعضكم لبعض عدو فإما يأتينكم مني هدى فمن اتبع هداي فلا يضل ولا يشقى ومن أعرض عن ذكري فإن له معيشة ضنكا ونحشره يوم القيامة أعمى قال رب لم حشرتني أعمى وقد كنت بصيرا قال كذلك أتتك آياتنا فنسيتها وكذلك اليوم تنسى وكذلك نجزي من أسرف ولم يؤمن بآيات ربه ولعذاب الآخرة أشد وأبقى أفلم يهد لهم كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون يمشون في مساكنهم إن في ذلك لآيات لأولي النهى ولولا كلمة سبقت من ربك لكان لزاما وأجل مسمى فاصبر على ما يقولون وسبح بحمد ربك قبل طلوع الشمس وقبل غروبها ومن آناء الليل فسبح وأطراف النهار لعلك ترضى صدق الله العظيم.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على